On Friday, November 7th, you can join heathens from all around the country as they gather in Delco to dance with the devil. This once-in-a-lifetime satanic masquerade ball will include dancing, snacks, drugs, some fine-ass motherfuckers, and a ritual of sacrifice. Do not miss your opportunity to party at a satanic masquerade ball. For information and tickets, please visit satanicdelco.com/dance. Be there or be square.
Is connected to devil worship. That's the focus tonight of Lonnie Lardner's special report on Satanism. But we want to warn you now that some things you're about to see and hear might be too graphic for children.
Come all you sinners with drugs in hand, the finest congregation in the land. Welcome to late night, enjoy the show. Welcome to late night with Satanic Delco.
Hello. It's Uncle Jerry here with you on the second season of Late Night with Satanic Delco, and not other things I want to call it. Today, all seven of us, or six, six, are going to talk about a certain subject of gatekeeping. And I understand the definition of that is the activity of trying to control who gets particular resources, power, or opportunities, and who does not. But I choose another definition. I choose a set of standards. I choose to say that it's beyond that. Yes, we don't want certain people and certain things. No, you don't. Because that's undesirables. Like people who can't run a mile and trip over their cape with their goblet of bat blood, which I'm certain is happening here today. This is what we do here at Late Night with Satanic Delco. We have a set of standards. And if you cannot meet those standards, you obviously have to go. So, with that being said, there will be a new satanic intelligence quotient requirement. There will also be push-ups. If you can't do 10 push-ups, you got to get the fuck out. The devil doesn't want you. If you are unable to at least recite 7 tenets of each of whatever of the one you want, Levian or the Church of Satan, whatever these things come together, if you can't do at least 7 of them, then you got to go. No beards. I'm exempt from that. I like my beard, and I like the way I look, and I since I've been around the longest without actually calling myself a Satanist, I am a virgin of sorts in that, but I see the standards have been lessened, and today it's not gatekeeping. No, it's just how you should be, and yeah, that's that. That's my monologue. I did it. Oh.
I'm trying to work Jerry in as my replacement as the host or whatever wrangler of this whole fucking thing. But he refuses to do his homework. Jerry, would you like to introduce the panel?
Sure. As you can see up here, we have 5 people, 6 people, one being Joseph and one being me, but I should put them way above both of us. We start to the left, Joe, with J-O, no E. Yes, with her real hair shining as only as she can. Beautiful.
You know, it's all natural.
We're all natural here.
Up next is our best friend, Ash. I am a smoker, so I'm very familiar with you.
Ash, this is your first time doing this thing. Are you sorry already that you've done this?
No, not at all. I'm here for the crazy, and I'm kind of happy to get into it.
All right, we're happy to have you. Go on, Jerry.
And next is Alex, spelled in a Gen Z type way with a K. Hello, Alex.
Hey.
Alex,
All
you're
right.
checking in with us tonight. Where are you, and what fucking time is it?
I know I am in Poland, but I have no fucking idea what time is it. It was 2 a.m. twice already, so I don't know. It's somewhere between 3 and 5 a.m. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's almost the middle of the night here, and it's like past the middle of the night where you are. So thank you for joining us.
Probably.
Be-
Go on, Jerry.
before, I didn't write anything down for this, but the one time I did a report, Alex, it was on Lech Walesa, a very famous Polish person. I actually really tried at that one and got a B. I suck. But that's for you.
He's Polish. That's
Yes, eighth
as much
grade
as I
me
know. Yeah.
was. And next up is Patience with the better set than all 6 of us.
It is a lovely
Hello.
day, as usual.
I really do wish that there was a whistle.
Oh.
Oh, you do have one.
Thank you.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
really happy.
What the
Thank
hell
you
was
so
I
much.
thinking? Not getting right on the. Now I don't know. It's been a stressful day and evening leading up to this broadcast, and it slipped my mind that there was in fact a whistle. There you go, Patience.
Well, I
Yay for
appreciate
the
that.
whistle.
Go ahead, Jerry. Please introduce me as well.
And
Pump me up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the leader. The only time I've ever seen him wear glasses. I've never seen you in glasses, and it's dashing. You're a beautiful man,
Thank you.
surrounded by 31 skinless corpses. You're
Yeah.
God. You're one and
27.
only the guy you
27.
pay $2 a month to talk to. Just
Would never allow that. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jerry. Welcome, Jerry, everyone.
good night, guys.
Thank you.
Am I here for the rest of this? Can I
You're here
go?
for the rest of this, Jerry. You're in for the long haul. We're going to talk about some stuff. Our plan tonight is to talk about gatekeeping Satanism. We're going to do that a little later tonight. If there's anybody watching this live on YouTube, collect yourselves, collect your questions and things like that related to gatekeeping Satanism. And when we get there, you can put them in the chat, and we'll try to, get to as much interaction as we possibly can. And if there's anything wrong with the broadcast, if it starts to be weird or shitty or there's a problem, let us know in the chat also, because we hardly know what we're doing. And the fact that we actually got this thing started is nearly a miracle. But before we get to all that stuff, we thought it's been a while since we've been here. When was our last show? I don't even remember. It's been a long time. It was before the summer.
For the summer.
Yeah, we took the whole summer off, and we thought we'll take the summer off, we'll goof around, we'll do some planning, and we'll come back in the fall. And here we are. The one thing we forgot to do during the whole summer was any planning. So we actually didn't do any
having
of it.
fun.
Yeah, we were busy, I guess. And so here
Very
we are.
much so.
So I thought we would start off by recapping some summer stuff. And so I thought we would go around and, maybe pick a thing that stood out to you about your summer, your personal summer, or your Satanic Delco summer, and tell us what the fuck you've been up to while we've been gone. Would you like to start, Joe?
I think the most outstanding one, besides camp, and you have to come to camp to experience camp and know what camp is all about.
Satan
But yes, jumping out of a plane was pretty freaking amazing. I got my chip here now because I'm in a
Oh, yeah, look at that.
crew.
Get it right in there.
So
Yeah. Satanic Delco's little Fall of Man skydiving club.
I get one of those.
Very nice.
that was so cool.
How'd you like it, Joe? What did you think of your skydive? I mean, you liked it, right?
I enjoyed it so much, and I have
What are you doing?
lost here. I'm looking for my certificate.
Oh, no.
I love this so much. I have it. Hold on. Carry on. This is Chaos Magic with Joe, if you haven't heard.
Okay,
Oh, there
Joe,
it
we'll
is.
come back
Right
to
here.
you.
No,
Yeah, you
don't
ever
come
see-
back.
go,
It's
there
right
we go.
here, bitches.
There it is.
Look, I did it. Whatever.
Good
Very
job.
nice. Very nice.
Amazing.
I love it. You did it. It was a good time, and you lived. What was the best thing? What was better, skydiving or camp?
You can't compare the two. The camp is just camp is a lot of fun. Camp is camp.
Yeah.
And skydiving was just a completely separate experience. So I think they were both very amazing. And actually the one was more monetarily feasible than the other, but we'll get there because I'll win the lottery. I'm gonna win the lottery.
All right,
Speak it into existence, guys.
Ash, how about you? Did you have something about your summer that really stands out? Something awesome?
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback a little bit on Joe there with Satan Camp. People need to come to Satan Camp. It was my first time even going, and I only went for 1 day, but it made all the difference in this community for me. And
Mm.
it just honestly, yes, it is the greatest congregation ever, and Satan Camp absolutely solidified that for me. And it's making me hype even more for Masquerade Ball. So it was the highlight of my summer, Satan
Camp Camp was your first time really interacting with us in person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you got there, you were a little nervous coming in, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it didn't help. I also got lost and drove past you guys a couple of times and thought to myself, it's probably them, right over there. And I'm just making a fool of myself, and I'm just driving around lost and getting angry at myself and talking to myself. And once I got to you guys and just like relaxed, it was honestly the high. It still pushes me through because it still pushes me through because it's like I need to be with these awesome people more.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, you don't know. You didn't know us. We could have killed you. We could have been lame. We could have kidnapped
Oh
you
my
or done
God.
anything. You didn't know.
It's never too late.
On that golf cart.
That's what happens when you're bold. When you take the first step, you find your congregation, and look at us go. All right, awesome. Alex, how about you? Anything good from your
Well,
out summer?
yeah, I might have fucked up coming to camp because I live across the country, so I didn't come to any of the in-person events. But nevertheless, I had so much fun with all of you guys because we had all the cool stuff go like on Zoom, and we were connected pretty much every day. I think my favorites were all the tea times because it was so often and I could just catch up with everyone, even though I'm like in a different time zone and across the country, and it's hard sometimes to connect. But it was so
Mhm.
fun to like connect with you guys in the middle of the day on during our tea times.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I
and music
thought once we
zooms.
started doing those frequent tea times during the days, it occurred to me that that might be a good opportunity for more of the European members, because we do have, members that are overseas. And
Yeah,
the Zooms are at a weird time for them because it's in the middle of the night, like it is for you right now. And so the tea times during the afternoon are kind of nice because that's an opportunity where maybe they can reach out in a more reasonable time of day for them.
totally. As I am in Europe right now, it's pretty much the only time I can join without like pulling an all-nighter. So
Yeah,
the tea times are perfect for everyone in Europe.
very nice. Patience, how about you? Did you have a special something about this summer that really turned you on?
Well, I mean, I really liked camp and skydiving, but I really liked my like a personal achievement would be like all the trail running that I did, and I just liked that experience of this summer. Like it all came together where I didn't get hurt and I got to experience a lot of nature and be outside. Plus, also all the hammocking, like
Yeah.
all the under the stars sleeping and like just all of that experience. So yeah.
Yes, we shared a night under the stars in the hammock. It was amazing.
Nobody
Yeah.
invites
Three
me.
satanic, three satanic Delco sisters under the hammock stars. It was beautiful.
Next time I
I'm
would
missing
like to
all the
be a
fun.
Satanic
Damn it.
sister under the stars. But all right, that was the skydiving and camp and hammocking. That was your deal?
Yeah, and outdoor nature running,
Yeah.
everything
Oh yeah,
beautiful about being
killing it.
outside, the sun.
What was your longest run of the summer?
Oh, I don't know, like 13 miles.
You did a half
God
marathon.
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the one you just did that you traveled for?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I did a trail run. I did Lucifer's Crossing, where that's where I at the end of the late night, like that, I was staying in that haunted place. That's that was 13 miles, and that was I almost thought I was going to die. I was hallucinating, because I was probably dehydrated or my electrolytes were off or something towards the end. And the guy was like watching me. He was like, "Are you going to continue going?" I'm like, "Yes, I will." But I felt like I was seeing double.
Yeah. All right,
It's
cool. Now, Jerry, listen.
Hmm.
I'm going to treat you like a member of Satanic Delco while we're here tonight.
Honorary.
Because really, you're all but a member of Satanic Delco, really. We let you hang out with us. We let you.
I resist it. I
Yeah,
resist it. I
yeah.
got a profession. I don't feel like
What
being
about
associated with this.
what about your summer, Jerry? Anything really awesome happen to you, or did you accomplish
What?
anything
What?
worthwhile?
I used to be very guarded with my identity, and
Yeah.
I used to be like not sign up for cards and stuff like that. One of the greatest thing though things I was able to do was sign up for a Kohl's card. It was huge. I saved like $300 on a suit. It was the highlight of my summer.
A Kohl's
That's all I
card.
got for it. Yo, and I have a kid too, and that's great too. But like, yeah, she's all right, but mostly shopping. I
Right.
was able to this month. Yeah, it was cool.
All right. All right. Well,
Thank
good.
you for
So
asking though.
Good. I'm glad you got
And
that.
hey, listen, I skydived. I wouldn't run 13 miles, and hey, one day I'd like to visit Poland. That'd be great.
You didn't
You
skydive
guys,
this summer.
no, I only skydived once in a polo shirt. Like I realized that the gear I was wearing sort of sucked. Like it didn't look cool. Like I looked like a dad. I was wearing cargo shorts and a polo shirt, and I had a man strapped to my back who was significantly cooler than me.
Yeah.
Like I knew he could pleasure a woman so much faster. Like he was good. And when he pulled like the thing in my crotch, I just knew he was
You
better at
like that
life
part.
than me. I made a roots, and every time he would do that thing, if you guys kind of the thing where they whip you around and the parachute would be almost sideways.
Yeah.
He was like he was just trying to like rupture a testicle. He just had a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, we lived.
I hope they're both fine. I
Thank
hope you're
you.
fine.
I only have one child, and
Well,
that's
that's
all
all
I'll
you
ever
need.
have.
I found that's all you need.
Hmm.
It's
one
plenty.
and done.
One and done.
Yeah.
For me as well,
Hmm.
probably.
Right on.
My summer, since you asked, um, I don't know. I don't know what my thing was. I did prepare some action on here to show you what I got into this summer. But what was the best thing? I love camp. I always love camp. Camp is like the thing that a lot of us look forward to every year in Satanic Delco. So I love that. I did a little skydiving this summer. A sad low amount of skydiving compared to a normal summer. Um, I did a lot of running as well. My running doesn't exactly compare to Patience's fucking running. That is a level that I don't fuck with. I don't know if I ever will run 13 consecutive miles in one time, but
Yeah.
I admire your ability to do that, Patience, and anybody else who does it. I made a little bit of progress over the summer with my lair, which is where I am, and I'm always like, I was focused on my lair so much for the last year because I had a bright idea of I want to really have a great lair. And so I started piecing it together, and so it's pretty good now. But I did pick up a couple of interesting skulls, and we'll see if this works. I'm going to put my technology to the test here. Um, Hopefully this is fine. I
Ooh.
got this guy, which is a unique skull in my collection in that it has hair still attached and a bit of face and flesh still attached to it in a state of natural mummification. Um, and it is the only one of my skulls that has such qualities. And I looked at this thing for months. I knew who owned it, and I was like, I gotta have this. And right there, if you look close, it's got some eyebrow visible and some dangling
Yeah.
bits of flesh right there.
Ooh.
This is fucking morbid.
Oh,
I'm
Like
For
just saying.
real.
why?
Okay, Jerry. Well, this is my hobby. Okay.
Okay, all right.
And so yeah,
It
nice
brings some
view of the
joy.
back there. Does have a bit of a bald spot.
Wow.
Now,
Uh,
if I
tiny
wanted
bit.
to purchase one of these, where can I go?
you, Joe, we'll have to talk offline. Yeah,
Okay, don't
it does have
don't
some
gatekeep it
eyebrows
from me.
left and a little bit of
Ah,
mustache. So there's that guy, and then I just more recently got this guy, a more
Ooh.
traditional look. I wanted
Ooh.
him specifically because he was light in color and also uncut. Most of the time, when you see a very whitish skull, it's a medical skull that has been cut, the top of the head, the calvarium. And I liked that this one was uncut and it had good, cool teeth. So you can get a look at the nice, funky grill and the nice, beautiful light color. I was intrigued.
It's a beautiful
There
head.
needs to be an HGTV like side thing. While you're spinning that shit, like 3 easy payments of $36.99, and all
Yeah.
that. What is the average price of a human head?
Average price, probably about
Yeah.
$5,000 on
What the
average.
fuck? You have 27 of them behind you.
27 of them now.
Right.
The 27 Club.
Yo.
I
Yeah.
think I paid like $1 to $5 for that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can burn it too.
It is not
You don't
fun,
like those, huh?
Jerry. I just say that because I need people to think I'm balling and buying $5,000 average price skulls. You know what I mean?
I
On the
was about
high
to
end,
say,
they're
right?
at
It's
least $26,000 each. But
Be a
there-
cult leader, please, man.
that's what my summer has been about. I'm happy with my lair. I'm happy with my skulls. I hope to get more, and I hope they have parts of their face still attached to them when I get them.
So fucking weird.
Patience, since we're going over our summer recap, is there any other type of summer recap you think we ought to get into?
Well, I mean, there's a lot. Like, well, I mean, we did lots of fun things as a group. I feel like a lot of groups were started on the Discord, and we did fun crafts. We made sock puppets. That was really fun. We did the camp. We did like visits. Like people, like some people came all the way from other states, flew in, took
Yeah.
car rides to Philadelphia. Like
Yeah.
we did so much connection, like type stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah, it
We
is. I was
congregated.
actually, when I asked you that, Patience, I was actually hinting to you
Oh,
about a more specific thing. But it's since you brought that up, I guess it's fun to remember the fact that, since we are spread out all over the place, you live in a far off state, Ash lives a little far away, Joe lives near where you live, and people are spread out all over the place in areas other than where I live. And it's really nice that some people travel quite a ways. We had a friend come in from Texas. We just had some folks in from where the fuck? Georgia. Georgia.
Where the fuck,
People
Georgia?
come in. And so when we have the masquerade ball and camp and things like that, people come from all around. And that's fun. But I was thinking there was maybe one last summer recap we could call upon.
oh yeah.
If you
What can we
guys.
call? Oh yeah. Oh, like let's this. What he's been up to.
Hellvis, maybe we could rank
Yeah.
him. Is he around?
I mean, I think he's.
Well,
holy
well,
shit.
well.
Oh yeah.
Whoa,
Look who's
there he
back
is.
from summer break. That's right.
What is that?
It's Hellvis Luciflows in the slush. While I was away, I found myself a little light reading a spell. Not just any spell, but a spell to summon some brand new demons. That's right, demon minions. And tonight, we're gonna try it out. Here we go. Per ignium, per lydium, by fire, by lust, by love, come forth, my friends.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Look at that
That's
bedazzled body.
crazy.
That's incredible.
Look at that. My very own unholy army, straight from the depths of Satanic Delco's creativity. Hell this out.
You see how this?
Well, that's pretty cool. I think this could be a problem though with all these like minions. I don't know. I'm worried.
You're worried.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
well,
never
maybe.
know what can happen.
Yeah, I'm sure now that we're entering into our second season of this late night business, maybe we'll see more of Hellvis and the gang as time moves on.
Right.
Right?
All right,
The
guys,
more the
like I
merrier.
said, we're going to take a little break in a moment. And when we come back, we are going to, among some other things, we're going to get into talking about gatekeeping Satanism. So if anybody is hanging out live in the chat and you have questions or comments related to gatekeeping Satanism, put them in there, and any good ones will get passed over to us from our super secret producer in the chat. And that's what we'll do. Shall we have a commercial break? I think we will. And we'll be right back, guys. Thank you.
This Halloween, be the most popular house on the block. While the other neighbors are passing out boring old chocolate bars, dull candies, and bland treats, why don't you give the kids what they really want? The exciting and smooth taste of Newport menthol cigarettes, the most refreshing smoke of all. Newport menthol cigarettes, alive with pleasure.
I understand you were abducted by a satanic cult.
Yes, I was.
When did this happen?
About
Hello, heathens. On Friday, November 7th, cast off your mask of restraint and don one of temptation. An evening when elegance meets indulgence, and every twirl on the dance floor flirts with the forbidden. Put on your finest dresses, your sexiest suits. There will be no judgment. There will be no limits. There will be rhythm and revelry and the thrill of liberation. Shed your inhibitions and dance with the devil. On Friday, November 7th at 7 p.m. in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. That's just outside of Philadelphia. Get your tickets at satanicdelco.com/dance.
And we're back with Late Night with Satanic Delco.
Guys, let me stress just one more time, probably many more times before the end of the night. You should come to the Satanic Masquerade Ball. You should come to our Dance with the Devil. Friday, November 7th, we're going to have a whole blast of a weekend. And I know you might be thinking, I don't live around y'all. I don't live near this masquerade ball. Well, neither does anybody else. People are traveling from all across the fucking land to make
what do we do?
What, Joe?
What do we do?
What do you mean?
I mean, we're coming from all across the land. So what do we do?
How do you get there? That they're giving you the plug. They're telling you to plug it.
I was in the middle of it, Jerry. You just settled in.
All right.
If you'd like to come from wherever you are, do as that lovely woman in the ad said and visit satanicdelco.com/dance. And you fucking fancy yourself up a little bit. You come on out and we're going to throw down. And I promise you, it will be a party you will never forget. I promise. I promise you. You will enjoy yourself or your money back. Jerry will see to it that you get a full refund.
Yeah, that's
right.
Call Jerry.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
we're
call
going to
me.
talk about gatekeeping Satanism, but first, Patience, would you like to bring us the demon of the week?
Oh, yeah. Guys, I had to put my glasses on. Okay. Well, tonight's demon of the week hails from the twisted borderlands between Heaven's petting zoo's agility course. He's small, fluffy, and faster than a priest running from accountability. Give a diabolical round of applause to Oreo, the Unleashed. Oreo, also known in infernal circles as Sextus Maximus, the barking storm, is a mini sheepdoodle who feeds on attention, chaos, and misplaced tennis balls. He shapeshifts at will between adorable companion and tornado of pure kinetic energy. Many mistake him as a border collie. An error. Uh, it's basically, easy to see that he's a demon. Rumor has it that Oreo was once summoned during a full moon ritual intended to raise a familiar spirit. But instead, the coven got a dog who steals socks and vanishes into the night, only to reappear hours later in the back of a police cruiser.
What?
True story.
True story. True story. Truly, he is an escape artist of the abyss. No leash forged by mortal hands can contain him. Thank you, Oreo, for keeping us engaged in the chase.
Thank you, Patience.
That was amazing. You
You
guys
like
do that
that?
every week?
Yeah, every time, Jerry, we got a new demon to introduce. I mean, maybe not every time, but often.
That one's the best.
I mean, there's a plethora of demons now. Hellvis has a bunch of demon minions, and we have more demons of the week, but it's more than last season.
We're overrun with demons.
It's a lot of demons.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, gatekeeping. I guess that's what we're supposed to be doing here. You know, it's funny. We save the main thing we decide to talk about toward it's like the main thing we get to and ride it out to the end. But I start getting stoned at the beginning. Well, technically before the beginning. I started getting stoned before we ever started. And so by the time we get to a serious topic, I mean serious, I'm in a state. And so I'd like to just hand off the conversation to Jerry. So to get us started, Jerry, what do
Yeah.
you know or think of this idea in a broad way, gatekeeping Satanism? What do you know of this? What do you even think that means?
No, gatekeeping in anything. Christianity does it. I mean, anyone does it. You're just not religious enough. And that's everything. I don't know if Buddhists do that. They seem to be okay with whatever the fuck they do.
pretty
But
open.
with us, yeah, they're open to whatever. But with the growing up Baptist, you can see that some people were just way different. Like they were more into it than others, and then thus lesser. Again, I said the definition of it is the activity of trying to control who gets particular resources and power and opportunities, and some of it is holding on to something. With the
Yeah.
satanic organizations, and I can see it's like almost like a tribalism more than a gatekeep. There's somebody who's way more satanic, and it's your Levian. And I will say they are. They're the ones you think of when you watch when you watch a horror movie or any type of sacrifice or anything. And I read that fucking book that book
Whenever
sucked.
you hold on, I want to slow you
awful.
down there, Jerry. You say whenever
Yeah.
you watch a sacrifice, you think of
Mhm.
LeVay.
Yeah, because I don't think it's necessary. I mean, there's one sacrifice that I dealt with was the communion, and that the blood and the body thing, and
Yeah.
that's a sacrifice. To me, that's a sacrifice. That
Sure.
hey, this is my
Yeah.
blood, drink of it. That's the same type of morbid shit. It's no different than drinking from a skull in Indiana Jones, and of which you have a plethora. You have a plethora of skulls to drink from. But I don't. I see why it exists, and it's in other things too. I mean, like sales. If you don't sell enough, you're not there, and you're lesser, you're better. Keep people, but it also keeps people in power who more than likely would not be there without some level of charisma and movement. So gatekeeping is a lot of different levels to it, but it's all the same shit. I'm better than you, and you got to be like me to make me like you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing from this definition, at least.
Yeah. Patience, what comes to mind immediately? Gatekeeping Satanism. When is that a thing? Why is that a thing?
Well, I don't have a problem with gatekeeping, first of all. So I think anything that's trying to define itself as something separate from something else and be able to have some type of like boundary of like we are this thing here within this or it's something else. then you need to have some type of gatekeeping, because it just creates like a, an understanding, and it allows those within to feel more at ease, to be like in a shared energy way, not so guarded. So if you have like a shared space that's protected, then it allows people to maximize their output in their, ability to connect with other people, because it's already kind of built in within a smaller system. And so I think that that's good. And I think every institution that exists has gatekeeping. Even families have gatekeeping. And it's all about, perseverance of like whatever, you have social groups, so you have different behaviors within various circles within your, life that you're living. So you have the most trusted core group, and maybe you're most vulnerable and honest with that group, and that allows a healthy like exchange of energy in a certain way. But then you're in other groups, and there's all of that is a gatekeeping way. People get accepted into your most inner place once they've like reached a gatekeeping that you've set for yourself in a personal relationship. Talk about larger groups, they need ways to protect the people that want to be together from people who maybe would harm them. So it creates all these like opportunities. I don't see it as a closed down thing. It allows people also to find themselves. You can't be, if there's no like definition of this or that, then you still are not having any like things to bounce off of. Walls, boundaries are important for you to, as you develop as a human. You might be feeling like you're part of one group, and then you realize you don't, and then you move into other groups. And I think that that's important. And I don't know, I just think it's good. Cells need boundaries. If their walls are too penetratable, then it's not great for the being in total. So boundaries are part of science. It's part of like being in social circles, and it's part of our own psyche. So
Yeah, and you mentioned just generally that gatekeeping is often necessary and a good thing, when
for
it
sure.
comes to like
I mean, of course,
Satanism.
anything in an extreme could be like also like too rigid, but
Yeah,
like, anything. So it's sort of like the lunch lady syndrome. Some people have too much of power and they go crazy.
yeah.
Get back.
In online Satanism discussion areas, um, you see a lot of two schools of thought. One is that gatekeeping is bad. They say, you can't be gatekeeping Satanism. People can do whatever they want. Everybody's a Satanist and whatever. And then you
Well,
have,
everyone can be a Satanist, but you can still gatekeep of like your community.
yeah,
You know what
well,
I mean? If
that's
you have
that's
shared
one
values.
that's one view. Some people have that view. A lot of people, I don't know, a vocal minority, let's say, have the viewpoint that there is one fairly specific thing that is Satanism, and anything other than that is not Satanism, pseudo
Well,
Satanism, if
that's
you
just
will.
their version of
Uh,
gatekeeping. Just, I mean, it's just for them. I mean, it doesn't really affect anyone outside of it. Like that's them. They think
Right.
that okay, like that's
Yeah.
what like they're gatekeeping for their group. But,
Right.
you know.
Alex, do you have a feeling about this gatekeeping Satanism business to get started?
yeah, I'm not sure about, like keeping anyone outside of Satanism, or like having the power to say who is or who is not a Satanist. Because I think it's a religion that gave us so much freedom to like interpret it and define it by ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think we discussed a long time ago like what really makes us, or what really creates a Satanism or a Satanist. And I think just calling yourself a Satanist makes you one. So I don't necessarily understand why would we like, want to keep people out of the community or any like Satanist group, and like, oh, you are not a real, or you are not Satanist enough, or you don't, I don't know, pass on our requirements, so you are just not good enough. It's kind of, I like to call it like Satanism is like a do-it-yourself religion, and we have everyone can create it by themselves a little bit. So I don't see the point of gatekeeping really.
I agree. If it's a religion, I mean, let them do their thing. I think if
Yeah,
you're going to
exactly.
push people away, if you're going to push people away with thought, sorry about that, but it push people away just because they think at least they're interested, and you're in a niche organization. I don't know if you want to build ranks, you have the luxury of saying no. Now there are some cases where somebody takes it too extreme, or obviously they're just disturbed, and that goes with Christians and Catholics and all those as well, and Muslims and everything. There can be extremes to it all, but to say I don't think that you belong here, that's exclusionary, and really I don't know if this whole thing can afford to do that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
at the core of this discussion, for me at least, maybe Alex mentioned it or Patience, I don't remember. Um, the question of what even is Satanism? What makes one a Satanist? And that's the same. It's the same question. It's debated, and depending on where you came from, what direction you came to Satanism from. Did you like hear about the Satanic Temple doing like abortion lawsuits, and so you're like, oh, that's Satanism, or did you read LaVey and you're like, okay, this is Satanism, or who knows what. Maybe you're a neo-Nazi and you found one of these Order of Nine Angles or some kind of bullshit, and you're like, I love that. I'm a Satanist. All kinds of different shit nowadays has people saying, oh, that's Satanism. I identify with that. And among all of those possibilities, even though I'm of two minds of this, but of all of those possibilities, I think if anyone had any sort of, I don't know, ownership or right to feel that kind of way, I guess it would be the Church of Satan. Because, at least in my view, I feel like this is pretty standard history here. There was no organized, codified, functioning religion of Satanism. For example, if you're alive in 1960, what is Satanism? If I asked you in 1960, hey, what is Satanism? Well, there wasn't any fucking Satanism. Satanism was just, you know, this nebulous idea of devil worshippers and murder rituals and who the fuck knows, drinking blood and I don't whatever. It was horror movies. Um, but
It's still a
hardly,
thing.
I don't even think Satanism was popular in horror movies at that point, really. It was a little later down the road. But LaVey, in my view, and like I said, I'm of a couple of different minds of this, really. But LaVey came along and created a religion called Satanism, and
Hmm.
so all these years, almost 60 years later, many LaVeyan Satanists hold on really tight to that reality, and they say, no, if you're not a LaVeyan Satanist, which they don't even like that word, that's another whole thing. But if you're not a LaVeyan Satanist, you're not a Satanist, you're a pseudo Satanist, you're a fake Satanist. And not only that, not only if you're not a LaVeyan Satanist, but I've found, again, this is like online discussion, Satan nerds, it's not everybody. Um, it's sort of, you have to adhere to a fairly specific interpretation of LaVey. Because I've even talked to people about, different interpretations of the Satanic Bible and other things LaVey had to say. And yeah, they feel that a fairly specific interpretation of LaVey is what makes one a Satanist. And so something like the Satanic Temple or any other group out there are just not Satanists. And that's their feeling, and that's fine. Do any of us need to care about that? No, of course not. We can think they're silly, we can think they're full of shit, and we can do our own thing, and it doesn't really matter. And so our conversation tonight isn't exactly about what is Satanism or what makes one a Satanist, but I feel like that is inherently a part of it. And we talked about, Patience, you mentioned like some of the good necessary reasons to do gatekeeping. Um, I don't know. Joe?
I mean, I think like. Oh, go ahead,
Okay.
Joe.
Sorry. Go ahead, Paige.
No, what
Well,
are
I
I
you
mean,
could
I
keep on
think
rambling on about this, but I don't want to go on and on all night.
We have an
just
hour.
that. I mean, in anything, like if the group doesn't gatekeep, then what is the group? It becomes like diluted, and its energy can't be used to its best. And this is just my opinion. And so in that way, there's a lot of benefit for like an organism, because once it's as an entity in a sense,
Cool.
the group it has movements, I think, or like, you know what I mean, like or it wouldn't be a group. Like there's reasons why people are together. It's to create something. It's to, like bond over something, network, all that. But what I wanted to say is that if someone's in a group and the gatekeeping is too intense and it creates like a toxic environment, then, by all means, like, please leave, because there is like keeping to the point where, I mean, it can give you red flags. There's some red flags that people should be able to get right away. Like if groups, are pushing your comfort or whatever, then those are groups that you're not, you shouldn't be in. And so I think gatekeeping is important because it helps you also understand like the goals and the values of the group that you're joining based on like why people came together and why certain people aren't there. So
Yeah. Ash, let me ask you, why would a group want to have some gatekeeping? What are the downsides of like it not being there?
I mean, as somebody who's in a community like 'cause I'm in the goth community as like a musical community, and I personally I personally enjoy skinhead music and skinhead community, and that alone is the biggest reason why there should be honestly some sort of gatekeeping. Now, an intensity of gatekeeping where that nobody's allowed in, the definition doesn't ever move. That's a problem because then that's how communities die out. But if you don't have a certain level of gatekeeping, like with skinheads, the first thought most people have with skinheads is those racist Nazi people. But if you go back into the history of it, the reality is skinheads were the anti-racist. They were the people, at least in Britain, people that were just open to that were about equality and equity. And if you have too much gatekeeping, which is funny because that's kind of a situation that's happening there, and I can absolutely see the parallels with Satanism on that, because you have one group that is like that's like 69, and that was the height of the skinhead community, and that's where it should stay. And then you have the other group that obviously as time they let people through, it became punk. It became appropriated by the racist skinheads that I am blanking on the name of. And I feel like you have a bit of the same problem with Satanism, where it's like, yes, you have those Levians that are just saying, well, this is what it is, and that's what it is, and that's all it'll ever be. And granted, yes, there is a sort of point to it just staying as that. But if you don't ever evolve and you say, because I invented it, that's what it is, I could say the same about so many other things. Skinheads. I could say the same thing about Ethiopian Christians. They're literally as old as when Christ walked the earth. Are they the only ones who get to keep it? We have a whole bunch of denominations. So we do need that little bit of group that does absolutely say, we are the bottom line of literally where you can go with this. But at the same time, that needs to remain just that, a little group, not the majority. Because if you have that as the majority, then it's just going to die out in and of itself.
Sure. Yeah. Um, Joe, what are some possible risks if Satanism becomes so open and vague? Are there any risks to that?
Yeah, you get crazy people like me in here. No. And Jerry. No. I don't know. I didn't prepare for that. You called me on the spot and
All right, well, how about this?
so
What if, what if, um, what if people that identify as Satanists are running around doing bad things?
well
And,
then they're
now
not
that's like or what Satanism is, or not only doing bad things, but like we said, there's neo-Nazi Satanism groups and things like that. And so somebody can go on the internet and start researching Satanism and find that it's about some weird neo-Nazi extraterrestrial shit.
Well, you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
Well, but if those groups are Satanism, then it's true. Then that is what Satanism is.
I wasn't
You have the
ready for that
luxury.
question.
How about you,
You have the
Alan?
luxury. Yeah. You have the luxury of reputation. It's not much you can't. You know what I mean? It's not hard to mess with Satanism. Like it would be almost expected. You know, so like transgender Satanists, this, that, and all that. There's a level of reputation that why even put Satanism there, because it's not going to help. It's obviously it's not going to hurt your organization,
You
and
mean
that's
because
what and that's
like different groups attach, like you said, transgender
yeah.
Satanists, and there could be
I
like
think that if you
death
have
metal Satanists.
if you have an agenda of sorts, then you attach something else. But to put Satanism there, it's not going to do anything but make you to the populace more like just evil. Like he's a Satanist, he worships the devil and is all evil. You have the
Right.
luxury of having a bad reputation already. It's not.
Yeah. Well, or
It's just
even, bad reputation is subjective, maybe, but it's more subjective when there's a bunch of different things that do different things and believe different things and act in different ways, and they each call themselves Satanism.
yeah.
And so everyone is giving the other a bad reputation.
Right.
Church of Satan is rightfully going to look at the Satanic Temple and be like, what the fuck are you even doing? Like, Satanism's been around for 60 years and now it's about left-leaning politics? Like, since when?
Isn't that the way it is with every religion, though? I mean, every religion ends up breaking down into all these different things, and they're all like, "What the fuck" to the other people, and then they like all fight each other about what they're actually about.
Yeah, and
I
this is
just feel
like,
like that's just an evolution of the way it is with humanity. I mean, all groups start somewhere and then evolve into all these different fractally different ways. You can't control it. I mean, I was thinking about like gatekeeping in the sense of like when you think in a sense of it does slow down the progression. People are trying to create some kind of place where time does stand still and you can exist within this evolved thought and not let it go any further because in a sense, but slowly move obviously. But if you don't have gatekeeping and you have then, it washed away and then there's actually they'll just disappear, like the concepts will fade away into something completely different. So all the gatekeeping like in Christianity and all that, they're all trying to preserve these traditions.
yeah.
And,
Well,
they're all
so your
slightly different.
patience, you are pretty, well, this is an oversimplification, but would you say you're generally sort of pro gatekeeping?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, and it helps me identify like if someone wants to be in some group that I don't jive with, and also like I don't get down with the way that that group is, then I know that I don't need to mess with those people either because somehow that's the type of community they want to be a part of. Like I understand also though that it's important to be in multiple communities at once. So you can have a small community that's gate kept and it's like for a certain goal that you're working on and that works for you because it's going to help you reach a goal within that group specifically there, but you would never accept in the larger group that you're in the same type of gatekeeping or like minimization of separation of focus, whatever, like a core group of whatever. I'm trying to say something and I hope that I can convey it is like a lot of times our inner motives are to connect with other people because we have goals and how we want to live our life or what we want the world to provide for us, and through making connections we realize through growth that that's how that happens. And so the communities that you engage in and attach to, those are the vehicles that are going to create like things in your life. So if you're the type of person that doesn't want to be in a neo-Nazi group, then please don't join one. And neo-Nazis shouldn't be joining the groups that I'm in because I don't want to be in groups with them.
Yeah.
So, and the gatekeeping allows me to separate the masses, and maybe in a larger community in a corporate world, I don't need to know that a person's a neo-Nazi, and we can still be in that world because the gatekeeping's a little bit looser, and there's like other defined rules about what I can and cannot say is acceptable. Like in a work world, I don't want someone's religion to play a part, whether they're my coworker or not. Just like I don't want my religion, and
Yeah.
that gatekeeping is really loose in that way for out of protection because of the goals that we're in, which is get the job done and not identify with those types of things. But in a smaller community and the gatekeeping is stricter, then yeah, I like it. And
Yeah,
that's I hope I'm making sense.
for sure.
Yeah.
Alex, now I think I'm right about this. You've experienced some level of like direct gatekeeping inside satanic organizations?
Yes, yes. I was just, before I actually jump into that, I was just
Go ahead.
thinking to what we said before. Actually, when I think about like reputation, if we ever as Satanists worry about reputation, we wouldn't like, I mean, I don't think we can fix it. Like most of it, it's already out there, and there will be always a lot of crazy people running around saying they're doing it for Satan. So I think we are screwed. But yeah, um, with the gatekeeping, I did go through like, I'm not gonna really say which organization it was, but I went through like a kind of an interview process, and it was like a whole long conversation with some strange dude on the phone. I mean, over like text, which
Oh,
was quite creepy, honestly. And also, it kind
Mm.
of sounded. I just went through those messages a few days ago just to like check it, and because it was a long time ago,
mm.
and it honestly sounded like some kind of like a initiation in a Christian organization. I'm like, do we really want to do it? But I
Yeah.
did go through it, which
You know,
was
it's funny, and
extremely
if
creepy.
I
Yeah,
think I don't know very specifically, but I think I know exactly what organization you're referring to. And
yeah,
even though they are called Satanists by themselves, they have a good amount of overlapping philosophy with Christianity. They kind of do.
yes, yeah,
I don't want to give away, you know, the organization or anything like that, but
yeah.
you know, they like
But
things like that.
interesting, it was also interesting because we went through like all the process, and it's really, when I read it right now, it sounded like you know what you say during the baptism in like Catholic Church.
Mm,
It was very similar, just rephrased to make it satanic, which is bullshit.
yeah,
And then we went through the whole process. I was like, okay, let's do it. I didn't have like community back then. It was a few years ago.
yeah.
And then when we went through the whole process, and it was like, and here is our account, pay us this much money. So that was interesting.
Oh,
And
really?
it was, yes, I didn't remember that part, but I just saw it, and it was like a significant amount of money. I was like, okay, let's maybe
Oh,
not.
wow. I wonder if that
Yeah.
was that, do you think it was like some kind of scammer maybe or no?
I really don't know. At that point, I
Yeah,
don't know, but it was kind of sketchy.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Alex, I have a question. So for the gatekeeping in that particular instance, like you didn't get in that group, right? It sounds like that
No.
gatekeeping. So the thing is that's probably saved you so much, like finding out. You know what I mean? Like you didn't need to
Oh
be a
yeah.
part of them anyway. What douches? Like why? You know?
Yeah. And
It's just
as
like you
as
were
you were,
saying.
yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to say like someone else from our groups had some similar experience where they got rejected from, you know, a satanic group, and they're in our group, and this person has been nothing but an amazing like addition and just
Yeah,
like a really great person to know and an amazing cook, and you know what I mean, like has bringing a lot of positivity and good conversation to the table all the time,
yeah.
and those people
Yeah.
didn't want him, so F them. And
I
also
would love to know. I know who you're talking about. I know the whole
yeah,
story. I won't mention him if he doesn't want to be mentioned. He's not here. Um, but I would love to talk to the person on the other end of that interaction who rejected him or thought something about him, because I
Hmm.
can't imagine. You know, I don't know this guy for decades or anything, but from my interactions online and in person, we have hung out in person. Uh, Perfectly normal, intelligent, nice guy. Like I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine What would have stood out to someone to be like, no, you're not good for this organization? I don't know. I'm so happy to have them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Very strange.
I mean, for fuck's sake, how can you be not good enough to be a Satanist? Like, or any religion, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, I am.
it's
And I don't want to. I could turn this into the longest fucking thing ever. But I mentioned earlier. I said like I'm of two minds of this, and I do have conflicting feelings about a lot of this stuff. Um, I'm okay with gatekeeping. I think there's like a time and place for it. There's levels, you know. Our group, Satanic Delco, obviously is gate kept, if that's a fucking word. Um, but not in the same way, but in a way that I think makes our community better, you know? Because without it, I can't imagine what our group would look like. I think it would be overrun by fucking just shit posting weirdos. I don't know. I can't imagine what it would be. I don't think it would be great. But all right, we have a bunch of comments and questions that have been relayed to me from the chat. We haven't gotten to any of those, so
Ooh.
before it gets too late, let me see what's happening. We have a question from Christian. If Satan equals freedom in every aspect of a satanic life, then who is the one that says if I'm a Satanist or not?
You
Yeah,
yourself.
So,
yeah,
you
hell
You
own it.
decide.
thyself.
You're like, if this is a title I'm going to take on because it represents something that I feel, if speaks to something inside me, then that's you. You decide. No one tells you who you are. You tell yourself who you are, and then you tell everyone else, this is who I am, and
yeah.
accept me because this
Yep.
is who I am.
The people who
That's right.
want to have a conflicting view of that. If there's somebody on the other side of you who says, "No, you're not a Satanist. You're not a real Satanist because XYZ." I don't know, depending on the specifics, maybe I could even agree with them. You know, maybe I'd agree, yeah, that person's not a Satanist, you know. I don't think so. That shouldn't really or won't probably matter to that person, to the
Right.
person who is identifying as a Satanist. If there's one thing I don't know if I've ever seen on the internet, maybe I have actually, but it's pretty rare, where somebody starts out being like, hey, I'm a Satanist, blah, blah, blah. Other people are like, no, motherfucker, you're not a Satanist. And then they're like, oh, you're right, I'm probably not a Satanist. That almost never happens, you know? And so you have to wonder, what is the use? If you're one of those outspoken sort of Church of Satan gatekeeper types, what's the use? Like, it's
Feel better
not
about
I
gonna
mean,
yourself.
work.
they need that tool. That tool it's basically a built-in system for them to feel superior, and it just
Yeah,
helps them
Yeah.
feed this
Exactly.
storyline that's part of their mythos, and their needs for this divide between us and them, and it's us against everyone else, and we're the best.
yeah,
And you know what? That's part of the thing that it works for their psychology, and it works for their members, and I understand it, and all the power to them, because people can get into any kind of mantras and mental headspaces to help them get to a place where they need to be. And if some people need that from their group to feel like they're better than others, then for whatever reason, then who am I to say whatever? But that's not for me. Like, that's not how I'm going to invest my energy or my thought patterns. I found other ways to be able to be powerful in my existence and move within the world. And I don't need to take that idea on. I found other things that work for me. And
yeah,
that's, yeah.
yeah. And this is part of the um this is like where I have conflicting feelings maybe. Like we talk about I'm trying to figure out how to like not make this take an hour. Um we have denominations in religions sometimes, right? Christianity has I don't know how many. There is, let's say a religion is born. We'll use Satanism as our example. Let's agree to agree, even if we don't for right now, that Satanism was born when Anton LaVey invented Satanism. 1966, the Church of Satan is born, and then in 69, the Satanic Bible comes around and lays out a description of what the Satanist is and what Satanism is. So, okay. The easy comparison is Christianity. They have a Bible. That is their central sacred text. And the thing that all Christians, I'm pretty sure, the things that all Christians have in common is that the Bible is a sacred text, and in various ways they celebrate Jesus Christ. And the counterpart, Satanism, okay, we have the Satanic Bible and that philosophy laid out by LaVey. So Christianity has all of these denominations that have come along over the many, many years. But they all maintain that core philosophy, that core text, the Bible, is true. They like that thing. They might have differences with how certain things are acknowledged or certain traditions or this part of a story or that part of a story. But for the most part, we're like, yeah, we're down with Jesus and the Bible. If you were to create a religion that didn't at all focus on the Bible and wasn't that really down with Jesus at all, maybe they don't even believe in Jesus, but they want to call themselves Christianity anyway. Does that make any fucking sense at all? Joe?
No,
I don't think
no.
so either. I don't think
I
so
mean,
either.
yeah, because if a duck's a duck, you're not gonna call it something else. But then if it's in a different language, I mean, because I've heard some things that are called something else in a different language that sound like something else in another language. So what if
Yeah, well,
Christianity?
language barriers aside, things
Oh,
sometimes do get fucked around when you have to
then no.
translate them. That happens. But yeah, of course, if something is a totally different thing, you can't call it that thing. But because there's all these different denominations, they are a little different. And so I wouldn't know if I were to write an essay right now about defining exactly where the line is. I don't know where that line is right now. But we all sort of can make a judgment when you run into a thing that's either similar enough, if the rule is, it's not, but if the rule is, it's still based on the same central text, then okay, that's the rule. But that's an example. There is no rule because we're all just fucking winging it out here, right? But for
Yeah.
some people, that kind of is the rule, and it's not a ridiculous rule. It kind of makes sense if a religion has a central text that defines what that religion really is, then it makes sense. But then, how different can a denomination be before it's a totally different thing? And of course, in Satanism, we have these examples. 50 whatever years later, the Satanic Temple is born. And relative to the Church of Satan, are they the same religion? Are they based on the same central philosophy? No, they're
What
not.
about hybrid? What about if they're like some kind of weird morphed hybrid of like something has happened because of technology and the way people, whatever, they're interacting with like social media. So they're getting all these people to join or whatever, however they sign up. And I don't even know, like, it's like they just took some of the empowering ideas to be to counter an idea. They're trying to be like the scary, like, opposite of something so that they can try to prove a point for their political stuff.
Right.
But, it's a hybrid. It's like, but it's out of control, out of anyone's control once it's started rolling and people started identifying with it, and language and the way people are rapidly changing because of technology. Like what we're dealing with is maybe an accelerated view of like a religion that just happened to be of the modern times, and now you have so much happening between when LaVey was like doing his thing on like talk shows and trying to be like get attention in the ways that he was, and just like 60 years later now or whatever, it's like crazy with the technology that we're talking about and the way ideas change and morph in telephone, like the whole psychology behind that of how what someone might understand Christianity or whatever, and then they also become like into paganism or into these, and they start blending all these different belief systems.
Well, and
So
the
maybe,
the Satanic Temple is, I have to talk about them because obviously the
yeah,
Church of
but
Satan and TST are like the whatever things that people are first going to run into when they
Hmm.
start learning about Satanism. And the
are they
Satanic
a real
Temple
religion
actually,
though?
they
I
came
don't know.
along and they made it a point, like famously, sort of amongst Satan people. The Satanic Temple has that, I forget what they call it, some sort of a comparison chart where they look at the Satanic Temple and the Church of Satan. And so they actually go out of their way to tell you, the people, that we are not like the Church of Satan. They believe in this and we believe in this, and they do this and we do that. We are totally different. And
Well,
that is,
Christianity is like that too. When you have like Pentecostals who are like, we are not the Catholic Church, like, and they are quite different. They have
Yeah.
some of the weird, like, symbology is there, but it's very different actually when you get into it. It's not at all like Catholic. It's very different. Like, they have like the seed of this idea of Jesus, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't. They
Yeah, I
call
think
themselves
I
Satan.
think it's pretty much Jesus and the Bible. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what you can count on.
Yep.
But outside of
They
that,
do they do use symbology, like with like the Baphomet, even though it's altered. They do like talk about this romantic Satanism, and there was, even though it wasn't a religion that was codified into like a Church of Satan stuff before, in Victorian times, there were people calling themselves Satanists. There were people exploring like the symbology or the rebellion or whatever, and so if I think that this Satanic Temple group might lean in that way, like, that's still legitimate that they're allowed. I mean, and it doesn't mean that I want to be a part of a group or whatever, them or whatever.
yeah,
They've already like collectively created something, and it's in the mythos now of like their thing, and
yeah,
they, it is. I mean, maybe they're not the real Satanists, but it's, do we want like one particular thing to say forever, like this is the only thing it can ever be, or things change? I don't know.
yeah, yeah. That's the sort of hang up. On one hand, I believe, in a general sense, that words should have meaning. A word should have a meaning. When a word doesn't mean anything, you can't communicate. If I say I'd
Right.
really like an apple and you bring me a hamster, well, I don't recognize that as an apple. We need to define terms.
Still,
And
it's
so things
delightful.
are supposed to mean something. But, of course, I understand symbology and history and all of these reasons that people want to identify. And the one reason that I hear a lot of people just say is, well, it's centered on Satan. They use the symbol of Satan, and so therefore it has to be called Satanism. Well, I don't know. I don't know. That is an excuse or a reason. I don't know how strong or not it is. We'll see. But all right, we've got a bunch of stuff in the chat still. We did have a comment from someone, Jordan something, that says, Jerry's here? I love that guy.
Jerry, Jerry,
Good on you, Jerry.
Jerry.
We have a question from Ashley. You wearing that suit to the ball, Jerry? Presumably the one from Kohl's.
Oh.
No, people have to die. So
What?
unless something is dead there, I'm not wearing that. I'm wearing my car salesman outfit. I look good in it.
Okay. These
No,
are questions. These are questions that are not on topic. Question from Wraith. Are there any gatherings in PA? Yeah, all the fucking time.
Hell yeah.
Including the fucking
Yeah.
masquerade ball on Friday, November 7th. SatanicDelco.com/dance, bitch. Let's fucking do it. Okay. A
WIT.com.
question from Kirsten. How do you balance gatekeeping your community with allowing space for outsiders to check out the community and decide if they fit in?
The website.
I assume that we're using Satanic Delco as the example here. So how do we balance gatekeeping our community with allowing space for outsiders to check out the community and decide if they fit in?
Is it trial and error?
Well, in
And
our
so-
case,
Yeah.
well, I'll let some of you guys go first. Joe, do you have anything to say about this?
Yeah, I was gonna say that we have the Discord and Patreon, and once you jump on there, I mean, I was gifted my first membership onto there, and then I got to feel out and see if this was for me. Actually, I naturally found Delco, and there was no gate that I had to go through, just a wide open campground through a field of
Yeah, you came
mushrooms
to the
and
group in a
satanic
unique
Presby fuck.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think did we talk about it? We must have, or maybe we talked about it on the podcast recently, but we found Joe. No, we found Joe. Joe was brought to us at camp last year.
mhm.
Last year, so like 24. Joe met us at our satanic camping event, and so she had no choice but to be camping with Satanic Delco, literally
Yeah.
there
And
with
she
us.
stayed.
So yeah, that was unique. Most people don't do it quite that way.
And yeah, unconventional, very chaotic.
Ash, how about you? You started as a person that was not in Satanic Delco, and then something happened and you became a member of Satanic Delco. Why did you feel confident, or how did you feel confident enough to even want to do that?
So to be honest, like the way I feel, like the way I feel, like it's gatekeep, like we gatekeep. I mean, I found Delco through the podcast. I literally remember episode 3 that you had released because it got me through my job during the pandemic. And I was like, okay, and I remember just hearing about like Delco, and I'm like, I really like this. This is something I really vibe with. And it wasn't until I literally finished up to that point, the last episode that you had released at that time, then I joined Delco. And I feel like the podcast is a very, very good way to gatekeep, because it's like, here is the guy who literally made this thing, and these are his opinions, these are his thoughts. This is pretty
Mhm.
much what you're signing up for. If you don't agree to what you're hearing, and if you don't really vibe with what you're hearing one way or another, it's a good indicator that it's not for you.
Mhm.
And this was, and again, this is me coming from listening to this back with like episode 2 and 3, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really the way I kind of got into it, hearing all the stories and hearing everything and hearing literally you talk on the podcast, interviewing people and things of that sort. As time has gone on, yeah, I kind of agree with Joe. There's the Patreon. I mean, for some people, this whole thing, late night may be their first introduction. The other people have said other things of how they've gotten into Delco, and that little media wall, for a lack of better words, is a great gatekeep, because you're not only seeing, yes, you who literally made this, but also the actual members. And it's a pretty good gauge of like, I'm with this or I'm
Mhm.
not with this.
Yeah. 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 I hear what you're saying. And I actually think, like in the case of the podcast, a lot of people come to the Satanic Delco because of the podcast one way or another. They like stuff that they heard on there, or maybe they agree with stuff that I'm saying. But we have lots of people in our group that don't agree with me on lots of stuff all the time. I'm certain we have people in Satanic Delco that aren't probably that fond of me, honestly, and don't agree with me. But for whatever reason, I guess through whatever, something like this, actually, we've only done a few of these, so it hasn't had a long history, but something like this is a place where multiple members of our group talk about any number of subjects. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, sometimes we just have different perspectives on a topic or a question. And I think that probably gives an outsider to the group at least an indication of a vibe, you know? Like,
For sure.
I don't know, people have strong feelings about the political aspects of satanic groups. And if anybody's listened to the podcast or whatever stuff I've put out there, then surely they know that Satanic Delco isn't really a political thing. Um, Pretty much the opposite. Um, and so maybe that's a vibe that people know, like, okay, I was looking for political activism, so maybe they're not for me, or I'm sick of political stuff, and so maybe they are for me. Either way. Alex, what about you? Was there, as a person who was at one time not a member of the group, what
Hmm.
what was reaching you that made you feel like okay, I should bother to try that?
I actually was trying to remember how did I get to Delco.
Yeah.
But it was for sure at like not the first like satanic community I tried to or joined and like tried for a little bit and was just like nope, absolutely not. And then I joined you guys, and I was like, okay, this is the group that I think it's maybe it is for like to some point connected to the gatekeeping because it's a very safe group. At least I feel like it, because like you can have any opinions, you can say whatever you want, and like nothing's going to happen really. You may discuss with people, but it's still like a pretty safe space. So that's something that made me stay.
Yeah.
But
It's funny.
I feel
It's
like
funny when I could be wrong. I'm high. You said safe space. And, you know, people know I sometimes have a feeling about that idea. And I published a little essay at some point back a while that says Satanic Delco is not a safe space. And I went ahead to lay out what I mean by that. And what you described right now, you were calling it a safe space. But what you're describing is what a lot of people would call not a safe space. I know what you mean, and I relate to that. It feels good because you do have an outlet where you can be safe to express yourself and, you know, not be fucking whatever, immediately, I don't know, othered in a weird way.
I mean,
If you're a
if
normal person, I
people
mean,
are
you do have,
yeah.
you know. But that very notion is a thing that would make a lot of people uncomfortable. And that was sort of at the heart of what I was getting at when I wrote that Satanic Delco is not a safe space. What I was basically saying was that we might say wild shit. You might run into drastically different ideas. And
And that's the beauty of it.
yes, yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't have it any other way. That's just the way it's always going to be. We'll shut this shit right down if it can't be like that. But yeah,
There's a Discord channel for
It's just
everything.
funny that you use that term because I always, when I hear that term, I think of that, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, if you are looking for a place with people who are thinking exactly the same as you are, that's not a community. That's like some weird kind of place. No, that's totally not what I meant. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's
It would be
not like,
boring also.
you know, I even wonder when people, outsiders to the group, when people hear us talk that way, I sometimes wonder what that sounds like. Like, I wonder what an outsider must think is going on. You know, like, oh no, what kind of crazy dark shit are they talking about or doing all the time? And I'm fine with letting them think that. I will never correct them.
This has not been dark. All of this has been vacation Bible school. You guys talk about camping trips and jumping out of airplanes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing evil here. It's all just bake sales and shit. You're all the same thing.
Bake sale.
And you know, so it's like art shows and this and that. There's not a lot of difference. Every religion does the same.
Yeah, if it helps
so
if it helps you with your sort of perception of us, we will be sacrificing a naked woman at the masquerade ball. I'm just telling you.
Well, there's the cops coming anyway. I can hear
Thank
that
you.
in the background, so good for you.
Yeah.
So
All right.
well,
I don't even know. I don't know. What was the question? It was from Kirsten. How do you
it didn't
balance
matter.
with allowing space? Yeah. Oh, and what I was starting to say at one point is something like this, where you're hearing from, you know, a small little slice of the community, getting different opinions out there and different just ways to think about any topic that we're talking about and different vibes and people from everywhere and blah, blah, blah. I think putting this kind of stuff out there is nice because it's more than just putting my opinion and running my mouth all the time. It's better than just me. Because, I mean, any of you guys, Joe, you can speak to this, anybody can. When you join the group, most of what you're hearing is not me, right? I mean, am I right about that?
I beg to differ.
What do you mean, Jerry? You're not in our group.
It's always you. This whole thing.
That's
sorry, I'm
because you're
trying
not
to.
on Discord, Jerry. Once you get in Discord, there are certain channels that Joseph doesn't even step foot into. He will
Joe,
not
I
even
don't know
take
what
a
a
peep.
I don't know what a Discord is.
I didn't know
It
either
sounds like
until I
a
came
Reddit.
here.
Yeah.
It was a
Jerry
Reddit.
I
is a
haven't touched the
significantly
Reddit.
older man.
Oh, I'm old as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm the same age as Rose.
You're not the same age as me.
I am about 2 months older than you.
You're significantly older than me and a completely different number. Don't get me
What is
started,
there?
Jerry. We're having serious
It's
talk here.
48 to 48 now. We're combined age of 96. I don't know how old all y'all are, but
As
me and
Aaliyah
Joseph are
said,
ancient.
age ain't nothing but a number.
Ash
And
is
I'm
92
29
years
forever.
old, and Patience is also significantly older than me.
Excuse you.
Well, I'm just being
Well,
honest.
I wouldn't have outed a you outed a woman.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
there's the end.
Patience.
There's the end
I
of your
didn't-
cult.
I'm
That's
sorry.
it. You
It's
just
fine. I
killed
bring
your
it up all the
thing.
time.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
You did it.
Patience.
So I don't know. That's
How
That's
old are
one
you
way
guys
that
and
we
how much do
balance
you
the
weigh?
gatekeeping versus allowing room for outsiders. I put enough of what
I'm
we're up
trying.
to out there so that people can understand what we're about before they join. And also, if you join the group, you can leave whatever you want. We don't hold people,
We
except for
don't?
Jerry.
Well,
all right, here we go. Next question. We have one from Eric.
Oh,
If someone
last
has
question, guys.
What, Jerry?
Last question. I am fucking tired,
Jerry,
and
you just
it
hold
has
on
been
tight
a
there, son.
long
We've got
day. It
questions
has
to
been a
roll through
long
here.
day. I am tired.
All right, Jerry, take it
It's
easy.
11:30 here in Pennsylvania.
If
I don't know what it
someone-
is in Poland. Huh?
If
I
someone
don't know
has
either.
a notion of what Satanism is, and they express that and discourage people with a different kind of Satanism, does that constitute gatekeeping or something more required to qualify as gatekeeping? Okay, someone has a notion of Satanism, they express that and discourage people with a different kind of Satanism. Is that gatekeeping? I guess it is. Or it's at least
This term is
attempted
so
gatekeeping.
stupid.
It's attempted
This
gatekeeping.
term is so gatekeeping. It's exclusion.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it's a common term.
It's a level of you have to reach something to get to something. We can't call it gatekeeping every time. Gatekeeping is just defending. Exclusionary tactics. Country clubs do this. You have to be a certain ilk. You know,
A country club is
the
a fine
term.
example.
Yeah, it's the best example. You have to fill out an application. There's FICA scores involved. What I do is exclusionary or considered gatekeeping using credit bureaus for people to buy things. You know, you don't qualify. What you want, you can't have, and I say so. So
When
says
you
the bank.
join the Church of Satan, you have to send them $225 and you have to fill out a form. And they do reject people.
Yeah.
And then there's that, I forget what they call it, just like basic membership. And then there's active membership for the Church of Satan, where you fill out a longer form and you sort of keep in touch with the organization, keep them abreast of what you're doing in life, and they sort of, I don't know, judge you. And there are ranks to be promoted up through the Church of Satan. And if they sort of feel that you're worthy, you graduate upward, in the internal ranks of the Church of Satan. You get titles and whatever levels. And, somebody somewhere is making that judgment call. And I guess they want a certain kind of people doing certain kind of things at a certain level to be the representatives of what they see as Satanism. But I guess to answer Eric's question, I guess at the very least, that is attempted gatekeeping. It's the lowest level of gatekeeping. It's meaningless gatekeeping.
Bobo ass gatekeeping.
It's saying, even though it's like, I don't know. It's like me telling you that, no, you can't be a member of the Church of Satan. I have no authority whatever in the Church of Satan. It's meaningless. I can go on Reddit and I can tell you, you're a pseudo-Satanist. You're not a real Satanist. Does it mean anything? No. You're still going to go call yourself a Satanist. But if you try to join the Church of Satan and they say, no, we don't accept you as a member. Here's your $200. That is their role. That is their gatekeeping. They
Do
can
they
do
refund it?
that. I don't know, but I imagine yes. I imagine they don't cash your check or
Sometimes
you
you
know
can
what?
you
Honestly, maybe not. I
they
haven't
might
read it.
keep it.
I haven't read it in a long time, but they might keep it. They might say this is a non-refundable whatever the fuck. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Deposit, a non-refundable deposit.
Yeah,
To be
yeah.
Yep.
part of an organization with a very, I don't know. Why would you pay to be a Satanist? It's easy to do it for free. Yeah,
Because I'll
I
tell
just
you the
don't get it.
question. You don't join the Church of Satan to become a Satanist. The Church of
Okay,
Satan says openly that you can be a Satanist without being a member of their organization.
cool.
So they don't gatekeep you from being a Satanist. They just gatekeep you from being a member of the Church of Satan,
But what's the
which I
benefit?
think
Because everyone who
that's
feels it.
reasonable. You know, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I take that. Yeah.
So all right, we have another question from Eric. It might be the same Eric. It might be a different Eric. I don't know. Is setting ground rules for your organization gatekeeping? If it doesn't exclude people, it just regulates them once they are in.
It's fine.
I would say no. Ash, you have a feeling
There's a
about
chart.
I mean, I wouldn't call that necessarily gatekeeping because
it? No.
I mean, if it's for regulation, it's just keeping order. It's just making sure that those who already got through the door stay in the door in the best way possible without causing chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, like we have rules. I mean, like on our Discord server, we have rules. You know, you can't just come in there and like, I don't know. I don't know. Do stupid, annoying shit that would be stupid and annoying to us. You know?
Well, that's why there are specific channels
Yeah, yeah, we try to be very
for specific
organized
groups.
and like let everybody find their thing, you know, and Satan knows we have enough of them to if you can't find your thing on our server, I don't know, you got a weird thing, man.
Do you say
But
Satan
also, I'm
knows?
probably willing to add that channel if you ask me nicely, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't think setting ground rules is gatekeeping. I think setting ground rules is just like you want to run a community in a way that feels like what you want it to feel like, I guess. I don't know. Patience, is that about right?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like for that one person who was gatekeeping, saying like everyone else is not a Satanist, he's just keeping himself. Like, you know what I mean? He's like keeping himself within this really small box, and no one's gonna get in his group or him because it seems like anyone who would divert off like what's very narrow shape of like whatever Satanism is, then that's just a very lonely existence. So gatekeeping, I guess, can be experience for a person if they exclude themselves and then they're in their own echo chamber. That's not a positive way to grow as a human being. But hopefully, communities with gatekeeping, the goal is to connect people to other people. So in a positive like headspace, that can kind of be like, I don't know, make your life more interesting. So it's good to have gatekeeping, I think, because it allows people to be a part of different types of communities that have different goals, and it allows them to identify things that they're working on. And it can always have like a negative side, of course. But I think within our community, the gatekeeping it is along like this idea of this vibe. It's more like a relationship gatekeeping, like we have like good relationship boundaries. I feel like people interact really well with each other. There's not like a lot of like passive aggressiveness, bullying, none of that like energy really exists in our community. So the gatekeeping is something about that. And I don't can't really like say exactly what it is, but it's
Yeah.
about the bond of friendship, like in this pureness of what we've created as a community, that we all have a good sense of what's not healthy for our community. And
Yeah.
those people who are like that don't stay very long.
Yeah.
It's
I
and
was
it's
just thinking when
yeah,
if someone were to come
self-preservation.
along like that, it would
Hmm.
stand out so
Yeah,
obviously. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you're not going to be lost in a sea of asshole behavior. Like it's going to be noticed pretty fucking immediately, you know?
And there's good moderation. Like you guys do a good job at just keeping everything on track. And also the relationship building is so integral to the gatekeeping in this particular way, unlike other groups. where it's status and it's this or that people are aiming to get, and that's worked for them for whatever reason that motivates them. But here, it's more about quality of relationships. That seems to be the gatekeeping. It's more of an intrapersonal type of thing that I've experienced, and also the creative aspect
Yes.
is another form of gatekeeping because there's a way that other organizations might channel creativity to be a certain type. Like maybe you need to write a lot of research papers or essays, and that's going to be for a certain group. But here at our group, there's a lot more like visual arts. There's a lot of like this type of creativity stuff, just doing late night and stuff, like outlets like that. So that in itself is sort of like a gatekeeping, because that might not interest someone who's more heady intellectual and needs to have a status of like, Mangus or this or that. And so they're
Oh
going
yeah, looking
to,
for like titles and stuff.
yeah. So like it's the group structure and the way that the relationships are formed in our group, I feel is a big part of our gatekeeping. And that's the kind of gatekeeping I like,
Yeah. Joe, was that a hand up?
Yeah, is there like gatekeeping within our group, since we have different little sub communities like book club and Blood and Quill, and you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, there's actually a bunch. We have a group of like what's considered basically the coolest people in the group, and
We're
we
here
haven't
already. What
we
are you
haven't
talking
ever
about?
told you about that one, Joe.
Oh,
We've never allowed you into that.
But it
I
is
mean,
true though, Joe. I get what you're
I'm
saying.
just
Each
kidding.
group does have a little bit of gatekeeping because, like, if you pop into Blood and Quill and you're not interested in contributing a poem or whatever, then please don't come. You know what I mean? But it's like
Yeah,
in
that's
the
not. I
nicest
don't
way.
even. Yeah, that's
Or
just like
like the
Hold on,
book
Blood and
club, like
Quill
you
sound
definitely
like
don't want
dicks.
Joseph at book club because
what?
he's
what,
a
Jerry?
negative Nelly about books.
Well, if I don't have to write a poem to be part of Blood and Quill, fuck
Well,
that.
you can come listen.
You can
We've got a
stay
bunch
and
of shit
listen.
going on. We could, next time we'll make this whole thing a 2-hour advertisement for Satanic Delco. But whatever.
Sorry.
There was. I don't want to. I
I
don't
mean, isn't that what we're
overlook this.
doing here?
I don't want to overlook this in the chat. Earlier, it was mentioned that Joseph looks good for 46. How about that?
True.
Huh? I'll take that.
He's not 46. Yay. He's not 46, guys. He's
Well,
not.
Jerry, what are you saying? The fact that I look good for 46 is even better considering I'm not 46.
Do you look good for 48?
No, I look good for 46. I look good for a man
Okay.
younger than
Well.
myself.
Now he's extra looking good.
Yeah, I'm extra.
All right. Well. Listen. The one thing we're going to accomplish on this is that, hey, he's 48. He's good. He's damn near 50.
I'm not 48.
And I know you hold. Oh, you're 47. Oh,
All right, listen.
January. We're gonna throw a big party.
In
It'll be a
closing,
great
Jerry,
time.
the last thing.
Yeah.
The last thing that I have on my notes here. We've talked a lot. For me, gatekeeping Satanism. The most obvious discussion, of course, is the Church of Satan. The vocal people, the vocal minority on the internet of Church of Satan people. And if you know anything about Church of Satan stuff and LaVeyan Satanism and the philosophy and all, they have the 11 satanic rules of the earth.
Yeah.
And there are 3 of them that always stand out to me as directly sort of contradictory to these vocal minority of the gatekeepers in the Church of Satan. So, satanic rule of the earth number 1. Do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked.
Agreed.
And the one thing that I never hear people ask, or almost never on internet Satanism, is, hey, do you guys think I'm a pseudo-Satanist? I've never heard anybody fucking ask that. But yet, these motherfuckers, every 2 minutes, feel the need to tell somebody that they are. So nobody was asking for your opinion or advice. So according to your master's philosophy, don't give it, motherfucker. Satanic rule of the earth number 2. Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. Same thing. You've got a problem with my Satanism that's different than yours? Don't want to hear it. Didn't ask, bitch. Keep it to yourself. And number 8 on the satanic rules of the earth. Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. In other words, keep on scrolling, motherfucker. You don't like You don't like my internet post about my Satanism that you don't think is Satanism? I didn't ask. I don't care, and you're not supposed to care. I think, here's my hot take for the night for the LaVeyan Satanists. Not all LaVeyan Satanists. Let me be clear. I'm not talking about normal, intelligent, reasonable people that are adherents to LaVey's philosophy. To enough of an extent, I am an adherent to LaVey's philosophy, which is why outsider Satanism is called outsider Satanism and not some other fucking name, because I align with Satanism, and in my opinion, the central text of Satanism is the Satanic Bible. I'm not going to tell you it's a perfect book. I'm not going to tell you a lot of things. However, I do recognize it as Satanism. But whatever. Joe, any final thoughts on all of this?
Sticky notes are great, and
Say what
there
now?
was just a sticky notes are great.
Oh, sticky note. Oh yeah, yeah.
Also,
I love a sticky note. Good.
this female Joe has a great radio voice. You should know that.
Why, thank
So
you.
that's for you. That's for
Okay.
you.
You think Joe has a good radio voice, huh?
For sure.
Joe,
Glad
you
you
should be
didn't
on a
say I had a
podcast.
face for radio.
Oh,
What do you think, YouTube?
Well, all of you have good radio voices. I'm just saying,
oh,
but
Jerry. Now it doesn't mean
this
anything.
one has an NPR voice, and I like that. I think NPR is good.
Ash,
So,
let me ask you a question. What the fuck is your problem?
hell yeah.
Huh?
Dude, she's from the city. She'll mess you up, dude.
Well, no, I'm
I wouldn't
trying.
mess
Well,
with Ash.
we've gone all this time. I wanted to get Ash riled up tonight, because we went out to dinner. We went out to dinner recently, and just you have dinner with a group of people. People are talking over there, over here. We got different topics flowing, and let me tell you, Ash, I thought was going to hurt somebody. And she wasn't, as
When
far as
she,
I can tell, she wasn't really angry or anything. She's just passionate and she has a way. And so I thought to myself at that table, I was telling some of the folks with us, I was like, I'm going to try to I would like Ash to get riled up on late night and have her do this on the stream, because that's a home run. Um,
I
so Ash,
mean,
I don't know.
honestly, I wanted to. I really wanted to.
Yeah.
I just know I get a little passionate, and I didn't want it to come off a certain way because I had feelings. I had to just cut myself with the skinhead one because I have feelings on gatekeeping on that one.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying not to be a little too intense.
All right, yeah, and this was your first time, and so I'm gonna let you have a smooth first time, but we're gonna drag you back on here, and we're gonna get you riled up about some shit. Do you have any general feelings about this, the Church of Satan stuff, or gatekeeping overall, or any of it?
I mean, Church of Satan, Church of Satan. I have feelings about them simply because of how I came into Satanism. And I mean, granted, again, I understand why they're gatekeeping. And like I said earlier, you do need to have that little group that gatekeeps. But I feel Church of Satan is basically shooting themselves in the foot at this point. And it's you can only be so gatekeepy. Sometimes I wonder to myself because I do go on Satanism forums on Reddit because, well, there's a part of me that just loves to just there's a part of me that loves to piss myself off for some reason, and I can't explain why.
Yeah.
But when you go onto those Reddit forums, it's just like the way these people talk, and you can clearly tell who has stepped out and have thought for themselves for maybe just 30 seconds, and those who have forever stayed in that man's shadow. And I honestly wonder sometimes for a guy who was so open-minded, who was just so progressive and revolutionary for his time in the terms of religion and how things were approached, how he would honestly feel about the way that Satanism is gatekept. Yes, he did gatekeep it to a degree, but he was also the same guy who would go on talk shows, who would use the fact that he was very much a stage presence and a performer to promote his own religion. And when you're a performer, you have an audience to entertain. You cannot be so super gatekeepy. So I wonder what he would feel and what he would think about the same people that are saying all these things in his name.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I always wish Anton was still alive just so I could try to get him on the podcast. That would be fantastic. I don't know that I could get him, but I would try like hell. You know, I'd love to ask him some shit. Alex, what do you think? Any final thoughts on this gatekeeping business? Oh no, Alex, I can't hear you. Alex has passed away.
The length of this has taken her deaf and dumb.
Jerry, Alex, we'll go back to you. You have no voice right now, unfortunately. We'll come back to you. Jerry, in the midst of your crying, do you have any thoughts about this topic?
No, this has been great, and my job is to keep it an hour, and I will do that for you, the serving public. What the fuck is going on behind you, Joseph?
What do you mean?
What is that noise? It sounds like the airplanes are taking off and all that.
It's not me. It's from somewhere else.
It's me. It's probably my house. I live by
Patience.
airport.
I'm
Patience,
sorry that's happening to you. You're in a war zone.
What?
There's planes flying over her all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. What the hell, Jerry? Why are you trying to blame me?
Because I'm not going to give away where you live. Forget
I'm
it.
a
Don't worry about it.
professional broadcaster.
Right on.
Okay, Patience.
I think gatekeeping is fine, and I use it as a way of self-protection because I don't want to be around a bunch of idiots that are in these other idiotic groups, so they can have them, and then I can better use my energy for the right groups that are right for me, and I'm thankful for the gatekeeping. So that's how I feel about that.
All right. Well, guys, before we get out of here, I don't know if we mentioned the things we were supposed to mention. I don't know. I think I took the questions that were sent to me. Let me double check. Yeah, I think I did. Whatever. It's the middle of the night, guys.
Good job.
For Alex, I'm especially sorry. Now, before we get out of here, first of all, if anybody who's hanging out watching any of this live, thank you very much. We appreciate your attention and time. We're having a masquerade ball, if you don't know. It's called Dance with the Devil. We've done it 4 or so times. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I do believe you will never forget it, and you will have a great fun time. You should visit satanicdelco.com/dance.
Dance.
And come have a weekend and party with Satanic Delco at a fucking satanic masquerade ball. We will see you again at some point on Late Night with Satanic Delco. Hopefully you'll be there for it.